My dog is absolutely glued to my hip, and because of that, he ends up watching a lot of movies with me. And over the years, he's actually like legitimately watched movies with us and kind of gotten into them in the sense of like he kind of reacts to them in a weird way. So we've made this little scale of how our dog reviews movies. 2 paws up are for movies that he basically watched the entire thing of. What's going on is basically he's interested, he watches pieces of it and then kind of drifts off and then watches pieces of it. I want to play is when he is bored and doesn't want to deal with the movie and instead wants attention and to be played with. The sleep ability is how much he napped through the movie, if he slept through the whole thing. And Big Spoopin' is because my dog legitimately hates horror movies. So first up in his scale is First Reform. Now this one was weird because this was actually a movie that was one of the first instances of him really watching. So I'm going to give it the 2 paws up, is what my dog would give it, I should say, because he actually watched First Reform a bunch, which is weird because, like, you know, there's not a lot going on in First Reform, especially compared to some of the other movies he's watched in the past, where it's like First Reform is a very slow, methodical movie, but yet he was like glued to the screen. I don't know why. He really enjoyed that one. Bad Guys up next, the furry movie. I hope I didn't explosive all over the place there. This is a movie that is pretty visually enjoyable, and he was kind of like, what's going on with this one? There was like moments to it where he was like really kind of like checking this out, being like, what's going on here? Mainly probably because of animals and its color and stuff, but he was kind of interested in Bad Guys occasionally. Redline is one of my all-time favorite anime movies, and I've watched it a couple times, and my dog has also watched it a couple times. And he's in this like in between of I want to play and what's going on. It's loud, bright, and colorful, which, I mean, you know, dogs, I don't know how they see color, but it's flashy, put it that way. So there's a lot of times he was like watching the screen to be like, what is going on here? But at the same time, he also wanted to play quite a bit, maybe because the movie's so energetic. He was like, yeah, we can play. So I'm gonna put it somewhere right here in between, which is probably against the rules of these tier lists, but this is a tier list for a dog. So, you know what I mean? The Purge Anarchy. This one was Big Spoopins. My dog did not like this movie. When we watched it, he did not like this one. He is hilarious when we watch horror movies because of his interaction of being like, I don't know about this. Yeah, he did not like Purge Anarchy. I don't know why. Maybe because there's a lot of like screaming in this movie, a lot of shouting and stuff, but he was not a fan of Purge Anarchy. Bride of Chucky, I feel like he was kind of all over the place with. There was moments where he was like trying to see what was going on. There was moments where he wanted to play. He slept through a chunk of it, and then there's also moments that he was like, I don't like this. So I don't know where to put Bride of Chucky. This one's kind of all over the place. Now, when you talk about these movies, why I picked these ones is these are the ones that either A, we watched recently, so I remember how he reacted, or B, he reacted in a way that was rememberable in a way. You know what I mean? So there's probably not going to be too many like I want to plays other than kind of more recent viewings. But I'm going to say Bride of Chucky was somewhere in between Sleepable and Big Spoopins for him. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014 movie, we just recently rewatched this, and this was Big Sleepable. On the sleepability scale, it was a 10 out of 10. He slept through the entire thing. We have a couch in our like home theater basement. When me and him go down and watch movies, that's where his spot is. And when me and my wife go down with him and we watch movies, he will basically try to climb up on my wife until she gets out of the chair, out of the couch, the love seat side, I guess is the love seat, that's technically. And then he will get in his spot. That's when it's just me and him, and basically boot my wife to the corner of being like, look, I love you, but like, this is me and him time, and I'm gonna sleep right here next to him. But he slept through that entire movie. The Shining is a big spoopins for him. The Shining is big time spoopins. This was one of the first movies that we ever got a reaction out of him, and that was when we kind of started to notice that he actually kind of pays attention. This movie terrified my dog. I am not even joking. Terrified him. He was hunkered down on the couch, ears pinned, eyes wide, and just could not bury himself far enough into the couch. Not even joking. The scene when the elevator opens and the blood gushes out scared the crap out of him. I remember him going like to it. I mean, it's funny, you know, but also like, oh, poor guy. That was one of the first movies when he was kind of a pup. He was younger. that really got to him. So The Shining is big time spooky. Where's the shiny spoopy? Come here. What do you think of the list so far? Ears turned inside out. You're just gonna smell me. Yeah, looks pretty good. We're gonna talk about your favorite movie. He's like, get on with it, 10. Alpha. This is the only movie that he has actually legitimately watched front to finish. Now, I said that about, you know, like First Reform, he watched a lot of... First Reform, I'd say he probably watched like 80% of it, and then like 20% of it was kind of playing. Alpha, he watched from front to finish. No joke. Eyes on the TV screen the entire runtime. There's a scene where these buffalo are chasing Cody Schmidt McPhee's character, or however you say his name, to like this cliff, and he had a bone. He started off the movie, he was sitting on the couch chewing on his bone, and very quickly, he kind of looked up at the TV, and then like sat there with his bone in between his paws like this, you know, and was watching the TV. And when that scene started happening, those buffaloes coming after that character, he dropped his bone on the ground and he didn't look away from it. He just like was like, I wonder if I still have footage of that. Because we took a video of it, I'm pretty sure. So I'm curious to see if we still have. I'll have to, maybe I'll find it. Up next is Pink Flamingos. This was a movie I recently watched not too long ago for the Criterion video. If you've not checked that out, check that out. I did a Criterion video not too long ago. This movie, he was pretty curious on. I was actually surprised. He actually watched a good chunk of this movie trying to figure out like what was going on. Probably because there's a lot of, not shouting, but just a lot of loud talking. And so that probably piqued his interest. This to me is a terrible movie. I hate this movie. But he seemed to think it was kind of interesting. He was definitely like probably 60% watching it of being like, what's going on here? And then the rest of it, he was kind of sleeping on and off. But yeah, he was kind of interested in Pink Flamingos. I mean, he watched probably the first 45 minutes of it, sitting there on the couch next to me down there. Oliver and Company gets 2 paws up because he has a crush on the poodle. We're not even joking when I say that, because when the poodle came on from Oliver and Company, he was glued to the screen, dropping his toy and everything. Like, he was glued to the screen. He's got a crush on the poodle. Hell's Kitchen, Heckin' Kitchen is what we say he calls it. 2 paws up. He loves it. Apparently, he loves when Gordon Ramsay yells at people. This is not a movie. There's technically another one that's not a movie in here. So, you know, cheat codes. But my wife says, like, anytime she watches Hell's Kitchen, he is, like, right on it with her. I think he just likes Gordon Ramsay yelling at people. Old Friends. Old Friends is a documentary about a senior dog living facility where they take care of senior dogs, get them adopted, give them proper medical treatment and everything. It's a pretty good documentary. It's something that I would say is worth checking out for sure. But for him, I think he's like in between 2 paws up and what's going on, because he did watch a good chunk of it, but at the same time, he also kind of like went out of it. And I think it's just because there's other dogs in it and stuff. So like at moments it piqued his interest, and at other moments it didn't, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna say it's somewhere in between. The Jersey Shore. The Jersey Shore. This is a movie that not movie, a TV show that was unfortunate when my wife says he likes to watch it. So apparently he likes to watch Jersey Shore with my wife, and that's a little upsetting. Not gonna lie, that's a little upsetty spaghetti, you know what I mean? The last but not least is Spartacus. And I watched this for 31 for 31 this past year. If you don't know what that is, it's where I take 31 movies on my collection that I haven't seen, and I watch them back to back and then do per day video review of them. And Spartacus was picked for last year, so that was kind of cool. He just non-stop hound me through the whole movie. This is a long movie, a very long movie. I think it's like 3 hours. Maybe it's over, maybe it's a little under. I can't remember now. But this was, I mean, he literally the entire runtime was hounding me to do stuff. He kept bringing me his toy. He kept wanting to like get petted on, and it was like 3 hours of just, I need attention. So that was like just non-stop, just non-stop of needing attention. But yeah, that's my dog's movies. These are movies that we've had memorable reactions. I really think the only thing more recently like we can remember is TMNT. We just watched that last weekend, and he slept through the entire thing. But yeah, these are like so yeah, that's God, your breath stanks, boy. We need to get you one of those dentist sticks. But that's been this list. That is some hot breath. Whew. We need we need to get him a mint. But that's his list. Thanks for hanging out. I know this was a little bit of a different video, but I thought it'd be fun. So catch y'all in the next one. Peace.